I know what you're thinking. What's with the monkey? I'm Robbie Williams. I'm one of the biggest pop stars in the world. But I've always seen myself a little less evolved.
Now scream, whoa!
The Netflix documentary, you called that a trauma watch. What was it like for you to experience watching Better Man?
What was it like for me to experience watching Better Man? A relief, because, this is a 7-year project, and I built it up so much in my head that when I sat down and the film started, I was like, oh my God, what if this is crap? And so to watch it and have all of my wildest dreams be fulfilled was an exhale. That's how it felt.
Michael, after Greatest Showman, what made you want to turn your attention to Robbie's life story, and why did you make him a, spoiler alert, monkey?
Wow. I mean, of all the artists in the world, because after Showman being a success, you can sort of choose whatever you want to do. And I chose Rob.
Of all the artists in the world, Rob is available.
No, it's a little more involved than that. But the short version is Rob helped...
Prince's estate are really difficult to work with.
Rob helped me out on Showman. He recorded a video for Hugh Jackman, which was instrumental in making The Greatest Showman happen. So we sort of had conversations after that, just social. And in those conversations, Rob would talk about his life, as you do when you are chatting with someone for the first time. He would ask me questions about my life. I'd ask him questions about his life. He would then want me to ask him more questions about his life, not having that much interest in my life. And then,
I know nothing about you.
And then as
Australian or from New Zealand, I'm not sure.
And then after speaking, I was very aware that there was just a great story in Rob's life. And with no intention of making a film, to be honest. You know, I'd worked for 6 years with Lee Hall on Rocket Man, and because of timing with Greatest Showman, I didn't get to realize that film. And I didn't have any interest in pursuing a musical biopic narrative. But as time went on, I just really wanted to record the stories that Rob was telling me. And so that's what we did. You know, over the course of a year and a half, whenever I was in LA, we would get together. Rob's got a recording studio at his place. Sometimes we did them in London. Sometimes wherever we were, wherever our paths intersected, we would just get together and have these conversations on mic.
Do you know what is a problem for both of us? Is we can really answer a question. We're like a long-winded answer. I do that, you do that too. It's a problem. When I'm answering a question, do you check out and find it boring?
No.
Like I do with you?
Yeah, no, so this is what happens, because Rob's not used to doing interviews with anyone else. It's a solo artist, right? So what happens is when I'm talking to you, he goes through different phases, which is, firstly, he goes, I'm not listening to any of this because I'm not talking. And then he thinks he should engage just for the camera. So he will then turn his attention.
No, because in my head I'm going, look interested.
But he looks terrifying.
Yeah.
He just looks mental.
Yeah.
So Robbie, then, how did you react when you found out Michael's going to portray you in the movie as a monkey?
Before he'd even got to the end of the sentence with the idea, I was totally in. Because I want everything that I do from here on in to be slightly unusual. And this is way past slightly, you know, so totally in. I mean, I had to... My wife took some convincing, though.
Yeah, she used to say to me, I would come over and she'd be like, I'm not really sure about the monkey.
Yeah, because like I'd go and guess what, right? Everyone's human and I'm a CGI monkey. And she wasn't on board, which hurt me in my heart because, you know, she has the casting vote. She's the Minister of Finance and everything. And but fortunately, once she'd seen clips and the film, she came on board heavily and is now the biggest fan of the movie.
How did you guys get people to finance this? When you say you want to make a musical biopic of Robbie Williams,
Blackmail.
It was really difficult. It really was. It was so hard to convince people. But then you also did that thing of like, by the time you did find someone who was convinced, you knew they were in, you know, because it was a huge commitment financially as a concept. You're basically doubling the budget of the film the moment that you've got a digital monkey in there. So it not only did you need someone who was going to believe in it just from a conceptual level, but also, you know, what that meant in terms of the cost for an independent film.
Robbie, the movie obviously has got great music, but there's a lot of hard scenes in that movie. I mean, I was sitting out in the crowd. I could hear some of the reactions to some of the scenes that unfolded. For you, how hard was it to relive some of that? I mean, even though it's a monkey.
It's the weirdest thing because I've now seen the film 4 or 5 times, and the first time I watched it, I just was looking to the left and right of me to my friends to see if they were crying, because like Dr. Evil, I was like, if they're crying, we've got a hit. And all my mates were just in bits. And the second time I watched it, and I was left just going, thank God this is a great movie, but nothing, no tears, no nothing. Every time I watch it with jet lag, I feel like if I start crying, I may not stop, and it's I never know which one I'm going to get, because then, you know, the other night in Toronto I had to go and do a Q&A with Michael and Jono, who plays me, straight after the film, and I was in bits, you know. I couldn't stop myself from crying, so it's different every time I watch it, you know.
You global superstar. How do you hope your fans take this?
Not global apart from North America,
Yeah,
which is the whole reason I'm doing this whole thing, is to be Mr. Worldwide.
How do you hope your fans?
There's a lot of truth in what I've just said.
I knew a lot of people who liked you, though.
Who liked me.
No, but
Boom. There's the problem. There is the rub, that liked me. So, yeah, this facilitates the third act of my career where more people can like me, present tense, go.
how do you hope your fans take it?
Well, my fans know who I am. They know, they've gone, you know, there's the floating voters, there's the people that are not bothered, and there's the people that hate me, and they have preconceived idea of who I am because I've sold bravado to them, and they believed it. They believed that I'm that guy. But, you know, my fans know that I'm crippled with insecurity and, you know, need affection, need compassion, need empathy, and need love. Probably more than most people, because, you know, I have a sensitivity dysphoria or whatever it is. So they know, you know, so they're going to go and sit in and have everything, you know, they'll be able to understand why. I think the fans will enjoy it. I'm more interested in people that are not fans finding this movie.
So what is your third act?
There's lots. I'm going to be incredibly busy. I've got an empire to build. You know, I'm building buildings. Literally, I'm, you know, writing TV shows. I'm, you know, clothing. I want to build a university. There's hotels. There's all sorts. You know, I want to see how far I can push my luck.
You got in? You're in that band? Say that! I'll give you baby! Shut up, you tits! Ah, off, Glenn! Mother!